Okay, and
that
for
leads
our
us perfect.
final film of the week.
This leads us into potentially, maybe even the best movie we watched this week.
No.
There's a chance, Dylan. You never know. I'm going to win you over with this.
It was pretty good.
This is going to be an insane argument. This is going to be a fucking.
There is no argument. I have nothing to say about this movie besides the ranking I'm giving it.
Yeah, I feel like for Dylan and Tanner Jackson, I can get their argument out of the way pretty quickly. I didn't like that there was a rape scene in this, and also it was boring. That's it. That's all they have to say about the movie.
That is the argument.
That's not what I have more to say than that. If that's the case.
Don't worry, I'm going to give my synopsis, I'm going to give my defense, and we're all going to come out this with a unanimous S+. This is a perfect movie here, and I'm going to explain to you guys why.
I really hope, for the sake of my sanity, you are being 100% sarcastic.
Anyways, we are talking about the French drama thriller film Irréversible. Irreversible? I don't know how the fuck you pronounce it in French. That sounds like a retard there, probably. This is a reverse chronological order film, where basically all of the scenes are reversed and played backwards. The movie's not playing it fucking reverse, though, obviously. So this is the general scope of this movie. I'm going to explain it in chronological order because that makes sense. Is we have a young couple that's falling in love. This is like I don't know how to explain this without getting into the weeds of it, because there's really not a whole lot going on with the plot, generally speaking.
Yeah, no, there really isn't.
They're fucking at the start. The girl finds out that she is pregnant with his child. They end up going to a party. There is the friend, Pierre, that's coming along with them to this party. He was like the previous lover to the girl, Alex. But I guess Alex is dropping him for our current guy, who I can't remember the name of. Who cares? They go to the party. Main guy is getting fucked up. He's doing coke. He's getting drunk. And he is harassing Alex, and Alex is not a huge fan of that. She doesn't like the man he's becoming right now. He's not the man she fell in love with. She decides to leave the party because she doesn't want to be there anymore. She's trying to cross the street. Some girl in the street tells her, "Oh yeah, you should go into the underpass because that's where it'd be safer to do that instead of trying to cross the street." So she takes her advice and then gets brutally raped for 9 minutes in an underpass.
Was it 9 minutes?
Was it 9 minutes?
Yeah.
Did you time it?
Yes, this is also, in fact, longer than Straw Dogs. It's hard to time how long Straw Dogs was. I didn't want to go into the nitty-gritty of it because it stops a lot and cuts back to the husband hunting or whatever during the rape scene. So Straw Dogs is a couple of minutes at least shorter than Irreversible's rape scene. It's pretty rough. Yeah, no, she just gets raped for 9 minutes and then gets beaten bloody in a fucking tunnel. And then the paramedics get called. Obviously, she's pulled in. Our main guys figure out what happened. And then they get some mobster guys coming over to them saying hey, yeah, if you guys pay us, we can help you figure out what happened to her. So they do that, and then they start getting information on who did it, who done it. They figure out that he's some dude that is currently in some gay sex club or whatever it is. They fucking harass some Chinese taxi driver to get there. They steal a taxi, and then they go on some fucking psychotic rampage through this gay club, harassing everybody, trying to figure out where this guy is. They eventually find him. He gets into a fight, and then they beat his fucking skull in with some sort of gas tank or something.
There's a fire extinguisher.
Yeah, the dude's arm gets broken, and then he gets pulled out of there by paramedics. And then we see some guys naked in a cell talking about something. This movie's a fucking trip. It's some crazy shit. There's also deep themes going on in this movie, pretty obviously. Specifically just with the title of the movie, Irreversible. It's pretty obviously talking about the rape scene. This is an irreversible act that happened to this girl. This cannot be taken back. This is dramatically
pregnancy also can't be taken back.
Yeah, it ties into the way in which the movie is structured as well. It's going in reverse, so that you see it oh, these are all things that have already happened, Nothing can be done to change any of this shit that's already gone down, You get it, Tanner? Do you have it?
Yeah, I get
skull there
it's
yet?
a little pretentious.
They also, of course, they murder somebody. That's also an irreversible act. They've taken somebody's life. That's something that can never be undone. There's a lot of deep themes with this movie. What are you trying to say, Tanner?
So, this movie is just it's this is another kind of movie I dislike, where it's pretending to be smart. It's either pretending to be smart, or the people are damn, this story we made is fucking boring. Let's put a unique way of introducing the story to try and cover that up for dumb people, And I don't know. All it really is they're okay, we're gonna have just a really straightforward story, frankly. and we'll have 3 big moments, and then, you know, people will fucking clap at the Cannes Film Festival, you know, where like, there will be a brutal, like, a crazy, brutal murder. People are like, holy shit, the French are so good at films. They put murders in their movies. There will be a 9-minute long anal rape scene. And
well, you see, Tanner, the reason why they made it 9 minutes long is because that's the time that an average rape actually happens. So they want to force us to like witness what many women have to go through.
Right. And then, you know, dumb people on Rotten Tomatoes will be like, holy shit, the French are geniuses. They put rapes in their movies. And then, you know, at the end, they reveal she's pregnant. So we're like, holy shit, now that rape that I was already uncomfortable watching feels even worse because I'm easily manipulated. I just think this movie does not have much going on. And it's essentially like the filmmaker trying to trick us into thinking it's deep.
I want to go next.
Go for it.
Okay. Gonna be completely honest, Jackson. When you explained it
He
in
missed
forward,
the rape scene.
when you explained it in forward time, this movie sounded way better than when it sounded in reverse time.
Oh yeah, actually that leads into something. This movie apparently is getting a re-release soon, or maybe already has, where they just play the movie in chronological order for some fucking reason. I don't know why. Whenever I was looking up stuff about this movie, all I was seeing was like the re-release shit. They like had a trailer come out recently for it. Weird shit. Anyways, go on.
Anyway, yeah, there were a lot of things in this movie that I was just, from a moral standpoint, not okay with. The first being murder and watching somebody's skull get bashed in the middle of a gay, like, sex club or whatever.
The first one for me was it being French.
Yeah, and the way that it started didn't really make a ton of sense. And just, it seemed like the further, because, like, we were having conversations during, like, watching this movie. You guys were slightly ahead of me, and you're like, oh my god, it gets so much worse. Just wait. I dreaded the fact that it got worse. And the fact that it got worse going backwards was even worse. And I guess just to skip right along here, I just slowly just became more and more disenchanted from this movie. It wasn't the kind of movie I honestly didn't enjoy this movie whatsoever. Yes, Tanner?
How long did it take you to realize that they were playing it in reverse?
The fact that they were just, it was, so when it was the two naked, well, the guy was in his underwear, but whatever. The guys up in the apartment room, they were doing whatever. I was like, okay, this is a weird intro to a movie. And then they cut down to, like, the guy getting escorted out of the nightclub on, like, the ambulance. I was like, okay, that's not usually something you open with. And this movie is also called Irréversible. And then it started doing this weird roll thing. And then it, like, as soon as it transitioned after the roll is when it, like solidified the fact. I was like, oh, this movie's going in reverse, because otherwise how would this scene make sense going after this scene? So
that's crazy. You figured it out way faster than me. I think we had to go backwards, I think, twice until I put it together.
Oh. Yeah, I was like, these events don't make any sense in the order that they're portraying it, so something's wrong here. So, but yeah, my only big things with this movie is a lot of things morally that I dislike a lot. And just,
gay people.
This is definitely not that.
French people.
French
Hispanics.
people. I don't know. Yeah, I thought that was really weird that they had Hispanic people. Yeah, that was also super weird that was just randomly thrown in the movie. It was weird that they had Hispanics.
Holy
in this
shit,
movie.
dude! The French are so good at making movies. They put women with penises in their films.
Why'd they have to show us it, man? Why'd they have to?
That's what I'm saying. This is them. This is literally. This is French people being like, "How do we manipulate reviewers to give us good scores? We'll just put shocking shit in it for no reason."
Yeah,
Tanner, I feel like you're not being like, generous enough to this film. You haven't even touched on the camera work yet, dude, which was mighty impressive.
Like I said,
and the fucking acting. All these shots were insanely long one takes, and they're fucking incredible. Like, the acting is really, really fucking well done throughout the entirety of this movie. And I think we're like ragging on the chronological order of this movie a bit, or the non-chronological order of the movie. I think it was honestly pretty well done. I think it was kind of fun watching just the insanity of the start and trying to figure out what the fuck's going on, and then slowly piecing together like the mystery of what's happening as you're watching the movie, and then all culminate at the final scene where we kind of really see where it all starts. I thought that was a really cool and fun way of doing the movie. I think it would have been a pretty boring, benign movie if they did it chronologically.
Well, yeah, I agree. It's boring if you don't zhuzh it up like that, but I don't find the zhuzhing to counteract it being boring.
Yeah, the disenchantment, like I had mentioned before, utterly shuts down everything else about this movie for me.
I agree that the acting was good. Camera work, I get I understand what they're doing. I get what they're doing and why they're doing it. I just, like, one-shots can be cool. I don't really care in this case. And, for the first, half of it, pretty much up until the girl, when the camera is just doing this shit and you can never see what's happening or whatever, and I'm like, it doesn't do anything for me. I don't care. Frankly, it was hurting my fucking head, frankly, to look at it.
It makes sense in the context of the plot, though. Obviously, it's getting fucking ridiculous because, the guy is literally hopped up on drugs. He's crazed up with adrenaline on just this insane situation. He's planning on fucking killing a person, basically. There's, like, crazy loud music. It's dark. He's in a place he's not aware of. And he's, super inebriated with all these drugs he's on. It makes sense that it's all like this. Yeah, I think it was a cool way of doing it.
I get that. I understand the rationale there, but
it didn't work.
It's sort of Nico's classic thing of, like, just because it's intentional doesn't mean it's good.
Yeah.
And I think for me it was not good.
Yeah. I mean, the ending didn't make any sense. I didn't understand why she was sitting in the middle of a park reading a book. That symbolically doesn't make any sense to me. And if I wanted to think about something I was watching either in show format or movie format, I would go watch a documentary. I'm just here to be entertained.
The whole point of the ending, from my perspective, the ending, obviously the whole movie's going backwards constantly, and the ending is just trying to portray, like a very early on time in her life.
I mean, I assumed
back when things were simple and other stuff happened,
pre-rape, if you will.
There was no context to the situation, so I was lost. I was also just disenchanted from the movie.
It's some fucking French bullshit ending, you know how it is.
I think this movie was just French bullshit in general.
It was.
Them damn French people.
Those fucking Frenchies.
I've been talking very positively about this movie a lot, but I definitely think the second half of this movie is boring as fuck. It really, you're getting carried a lot by just the performances. No,
Jesus.
The party scene, them walking and taking the train, all of that is entirely being carried by the performances of the characters. They're not really talking about anything necessarily important. Nothing is super relevant to the plot. It's entirely just.
What do you mean they're talking about sex?
Yeah, that was the other thing. What was the point of the train conversation? That was a completely pointless conversation, added nothing to the movie.
It was foreshadowing for when she gets brutally ass raped.
I don't care.
All it is doing is we're watching the performances of these actors, which of course again was really good. They were not really talking about anything super relevant. Maybe you could say it's some foreshadowing shit. I think it's just them talking about shit they're interested in talking about.
Well, exactly, dude. You see, they're talking about sex and stuff, and, like, she's obviously uncomfortable with the conversation, but eventually, like, they keep pushing it.
She gets raped.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you mean this video's demonetized?
So similar to Jackson, I've definitely been defending this movie. I didn't really like this movie whatsoever, though. Like, I definitely get what it's going for here. I think that the fact that, I understand why the movie's being played in reverse. However, I do think that it is overall a detriment to the film, ultimately, because we basically, when this woman is introduced, she immediately gets raped afterward, just the moment we meet her. And so we don't really have, like, any sort of, like, pre-established, like, feelings towards her or anything like that, like we would have gotten had the movie actually been played in a normal sort of way. So it's just like, wow, this is a really bad thing that's happening to this woman. And then after that, we see her some more, and it's like, okay, well, yeah, I can't stop seeing the woman who just got ass raped for nine minutes.
Exactly.
And then obviously, as Tanner talked about previously, the reveal that, she was pregnant the entire time. Isn't that sad? It's like some fucking Last of Us Part 2 bullshit. That's so fucking terrible. I hate it so much.
What's up, Tanner?
What's up, Tanner? What's up, dude?
Do you think this movie would have worked better if instead of just going from, the end to the beginning of the story, we actually jump back and forth between the ending and the beginning, and then watch 9 minutes of ass rape, and then it goes to the credits?
Less rape, but I like
joking aside, do you think that would have worked better so that we do get introduced to her and get a bit more attached to her, and, like, maybe... Let me just do this. Let's rewrite the movie so she just gets brutally murdered instead of ass raped for 9 minutes. And
I would have preferred that, honestly.
And then we play it like go back and forth, and we can do the opening where he's getting wheeled out in the stretcher or whatever, and we're like, huh, what the fuck is going on? And then they're hinting at Alex, and we're like, what? And then it does the maybe not the very very beginning, maybe like once they're going to the party or whatever, and then go back and forth like that
Strategically
until we
arranging
see. I guess it would be ending on the murder then, which is a bit weird, but
Yeah, I mean, playing around with, like, a previously established sort of, like, narrative device like that, just like, you know, how a movie typically progresses, is something you need to be really careful with. You look at something like Pulp Fiction, it does it very well. It's, like, you know, taking us to a bunch of different places in, like, these people's lives, you know, where I feel like it does it fairly well there, you know. We haven't gotten to Pulp Fiction quite yet, so I'm not gonna spoil things too much for folks who haven't seen it yet, like Dylan, I'd assume.
Yes.
But, yeah, like, a movie like that, it does it very well. Here, I just don't feel like it adds enough to the film to justify it really being structured in this way.
I mean, like
I
I
agree,
said,
but also if it weren't structured like that, I don't think there's very much to this film either.
well, like I said prior, I think this movie would have been better played in normal chronological order than reverse.
Yeah, I'd say so.
All right, rankings then. Jackson, what are you rating this movie, man?
Yeah, no, I'm absolutely the highest on this movie out of all of
100%.
us. I give it a D+.
Oh, that's the
enough.
highest? I mean, I guess never mind.
I assume the rest of you guys are gonna give it fucking F.
I'm giving this one an ass rape out of 10. I'm giving it an F+.
Huh.
There we
Nico?
go. Dylan, how about you, dude?
Me, I'm giving this movie an F-.
Whoa.
I will never watch this movie again in my life. I will never.
I'll
recommend
never
this to
watch it
anybody
again
ever.
either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no plans on doing that either.
Yeah.
Which I think is kind of the point. It's supposed to be an absurdly hard to watch movie that makes you think about the things that you're watching.
I mean, yeah, like... I mean, Jackson, as you talked about with, like, the themes and stuff like that, I really don't think that the themes are really even that obvious in this film. You look at something like Straw Dogs, and with that movie, it's very obvious that it's trying to say something. It's just not doing it very well. Whereas with a movie like this, it's not really even obvious what's trying to do here. All we're really watching
It's
is, like,
trying to
this...
show you a 9-minute anal rape scene.
Exactly.
That was why the movie was made.
It's just showing us, like, these really fucked up things happening to people without really trying to comment on it very much whatsoever, I feel like. So
Wouldn't it be fucked up if... Yeah, it would be. Whoa.
I think I'm gonna give this movie an F+ as well.
Holy
Damn it.
shit.
That's not-
Has it finally happened?
No, I don't think it worked. Well, actually, it might be an F+.
Yeah, the fucking F-. Yeah, no, it's an F+.
Holy shit.
First
Oh my
F-rated
God.
movie, boys! Let's go!
We did it, ladies and gentlemen. Our first F-tier movie.
I was really worried about Jackson's D+ after Tanner gave it an F+. I was like, there's no way this movie's not gonna be an F.
It finally
Yeah, you give it a
happened.
fucking F-. That is quite the.
I was very
the polar
disenchanted.
downer, as they say.
Well, Jackson, congratulations on Guapish Rule 34's first F-tier movie. How does it feel, man?
I'm pretty indifferent. I don't really care.
I truly would have figured with how you guys were ragging on my ratings of my movies, or not even my movies, that I certainly would have hit this low first, but I guess not.
You were never gonna let that happen, Dylan.
Yeah, I'm still trying to get
I'm
higher.
just picking some random shit. I don't even know where I fucking found this movie. To be
Where
completely
did
honest.
you fucking
Yeah, I know. You
find
need
it?
to figure out how you heard this movie, man. I'm curious now.
A lot of the time, I just see like a random Reddit thread of like, what are some disturbing movies or something. I'm like, oh, let's write down all of these without looking any deeper into them.
Fantastic.
Or like I see some random meme or something about it. I write it down.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking too hard about any of this.
That's
Jackson
funny.
has fucking Vomit Girl Holocaust on his movie or some shit.
What? What is
I
that?
might.
Oh.
That sounds hilarious.
It's not. It's a series of vomit porn films.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Where's the Holocaust come in?